Hi, this is Nathan Hurd with the Oxford Club. I'm the Chief Growth Officer, and I'm bringing you here the Survive and Thrive series. This series and the things we're going to explore aim to answer one specific question, and that is, what would it take to look back on this experience when it's over, this moment in time, and view it as one of the most valuable experiences of your life? And I know that's a tall order. I don't mean it's going to feel good. I don't mean it's going to be pleasant. I don't mean you would even want to repeat it. But being able to look back and view it as one of the most valuable experiences, meaning you grew as a person. You learned from this experience. You came out stronger in a variety of ways from where you are today. That is possible. And over the coming weeks, I'm going to give you the best resources and tools that I have and that I can find to get through this together. And we will find those answers. We'll create those answers so that when we come out of this, we can look back and feel like we certainly made the most of a very difficult situation. Now, you all know that the Oxford Club is here primarily to provide you with world-class investment research, and we're doing that. I hope you're seeing the content that's being put out. In fact, many recommendations are already starting to be made as the opportunity really is forming here and now. And I hope you're taking advantage of some of those. But many of you have written to me. By the way, right before this, I was actually reading some of your letters. And some of your feedback has been extremely valuable, both for this series and for a lot of the other information that we're responding to. And so some of you are saying, I'm fearful. I am in some ways feeling paralyzed in this moment. And I ask that you share with me, what are the biggest questions that you're up against right now? What are your major concerns? Because I want this to be not a lecture series, but a conversation that you and I have over the coming weeks to make the most out of this difficult time. So with that, let me go through a short exercise, a brief exercise that will, it's very simple, but it'll give you, I think, a good foundation to build on in the coming weeks. You know, one of the most important things is to look at the circumstances for what they really truly are, right? Take a look, in this case, at the different aspects of your life and decide, you know, what am I excited about? What am I happy with? And where do I think I'd like to make some changes? Because the reality is we all have more time than we wanted or expected. But there's opportunity in that. There really is opportunity in that. And so I'm going to walk you through this exercise. Feel free to pause it, come back to it anytime you need. But once we're done, you'll have a sense of where you are today. And then in the coming weeks, we'll build on this foundation. Sound good? All right, great. So here's the first step. You need a blank piece of paper and anything to write with. And if you need to take a minute and go grab it, please do. If you have it, here's what you need to do to start. So I'm going to ask that you write a circle on the page about as big as the page, as large a circle as you can write. Okay? And you're going to draw a line from the top to the center. And then you're going to draw out two diagonal lines, sort of like a modified peace sign. From there, you're going to take these two big sections and divide them into three. Once you're finished, you'll have a circle with 7 sections, okay? These 7 sections represent what I believe to be the 7 most important areas in living a fulfilled and rich life. I'll talk to you about each one, and I'll show you what we're going to do with this, but just hang with me and follow along, and I promise this will give you some good things to chew on starting today into the coming weeks. I've done this before at seminars and conferences. I've never done it in this format, so bear with me. But I look forward to your feedback about where you are today and the questions that come up as we go along. So once you have this laid out, what you're going to do is write a description at the top of each section. So I'll go through those descriptions quickly, and then I'll explain what we're going to do. So at the top of the first section, write health and vitality. Okay? health and vitality. In the second section, you're going to write mind and meaning. Mind and meaning. Okay? In the third section, you're going to write love and relationships. Love and relationships. In the fourth section, you're going to write career, business, and mission. Honestly, just pick whichever of those three words you like, and I'll explain what that means. The next section is wealth. This is your financial wealth, followed by growth, and then finally, contribution. Now, once you've done this, the reason we're doing this is because as I said before, we're going to continue to provide you insights on exactly how to capitalize on this opportunity financially, how to make the right investment decisions that'll help you to take advantage of the experience we're going through right now. But you and I both know that there is so much more to life than just money. And you deserve more. I want so much more for you. And I think if you've been with us for any amount of time, that our whole mission at the club has to do with helping our members achieve a rich life beyond just the money aspect of it. And so I'm hoping to help you take this opportunity to really think a bit more about where you are in these different categories. Okay, so let me explain what I mean by each. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Think about the last 6 months of your life. And in each section, where have you been living? And I want you to rate yourself, okay? So let's just take health and vitality as an example. Now, for me, this means physical health, your physical body. Where are you health-wise? I mean, we all know that you can have all the money in the world and nobody wants to be the richest man in the grave, they say, right? If you're in poor health, if you don't feel good, if you're not getting a good night's sleep, if you're not taking good care of yourself, if you're in pain, you're not enjoying all that money. You're not able to really enjoy and appreciate the quality of your life, or your quality of life's poor. And so this is going to be different for every individual. For some people, they want to run a marathon, right? They want to be vibrant and strong and fit. For some people, you might just want to have a decent amount of energy to spend time with the people you love and get through each day, feeling pretty good. If you've had an injury, let's say, maybe you injured your leg or your hip, and, for you, honestly, a pretty good to great would just be minimizing the pain you experience each day. It's going to be different for each individual, as will all of these, by the way. So for you, what you think is possible, like that sort of the max would be 10. Where are you today? And be honest with yourself. Again, there's power in seeing things for what they really are in this moment. So health and vitality, give yourself a score and write it in that section, okay? Next, mind and meaning. Look, the one thing that honestly no one can take from us, no one can take from you, is the meaning you associate to the experiences of your life. And honestly, the meaning that you apply to any given situation, some people are looking at this whole circumstance we're in as the end of the world, right? And they are in an exorbitant amount of fear, and that might be you. And some people are more easily able to see this as an opportunity. I would argue that there certainly is opportunity here, which I hope to help you uncover. But either way, the meaning we associate to this moment and to any other moment, whether it's with the people you love, the experiences you have, the challenges you face, is the quality of your life. So do you get frustrated easily? Do you hang on to frustration for a long time, or can you let it go? What is your emotional center of gravity? Where do you spend most of your time? And what do you know is possible relative to where you are today? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, you feel good most of the time emotionally. You're able to get rid of negative emotions pretty quickly, and you deal with adversity with a lot of ease? Or is it tough? Scale of 1 to 10, put the number there, okay? Next is love and relationships. When you think of the relationships in your life, the one that can provide us the most pleasure or the most pain is our intimate relationship. Agreed? From there, you have your immediate family members, the people closest to you directly inside of, your family that you're living with or that you're closest to. From there, you have friends, your friendships. These tend to be easier, right? We don't have so many rules about what our friends have to be or do. Same way we do with our family or intimate relationships often. And then finally, the relationships you have in your community or your colleagues, if you're working. So if you were to merge all of those together, giving the heaviest weight to the relationships that are closest to you, where are you today? Scale of 1 to 10 versus where you would love to be and it's possible to be at your best. Okay? Next, career. Career, business, or mission. Why did I say those 3 words? Well, for some people, a job's a job, right? A job is a grind. And for some people, it's really a mission. They have found a way to create deep meaning in the work they do. They love what they do. And it has a whole nother sense of they're able to give something. They're able to support something that they believe in. Now, wherever you are, the word that you choose, honestly, if to describe your work says a lot. But if you're not working, let's say you're retired, did you have a good career? Are you really proud of the career you had and the work you did? And has that translated at all? Have you been able to feed that into your now retired life? Okay. So think about where you are today in terms of the mission or the career that you had or have, even in retirement, or do you have some sense of mission? And or if you're actively working, what is it for you in terms of where you would feel like it's truly your calling? You're excited to get up and go to work every day. You feel like you're really doing something that's meaningful versus where you are today. Scale of 1 to 10. All right, the next section is wealth. Now, this is your financial health, right? Your financial freedom. I think this is really 2 things that describe this. Number 1, how much money do you have, right? How much actual money do you have that creates a baseline of security and or allows you to live the lifestyle that you desire versus what you think is possible or what you would love to see happen. And the other part of this is your financial know-how, rather. Do you have the tools? Do you have the understanding to navigate circumstances like the one we're in today and to meet future difficulty and challenges, or to fully capitalize on opportunities? For example, did you have stop losses in place on positions that allowed you to stop out before some of the huge drops? And are you now sitting on cash that you can put back to work as an opportunity? Do you feel like you have the true base understanding of what to do now, of where the opportunities might be, or really to how to allocate your portfolio? Do you have familiarity with some strategies, some tax management approaches? Where are you financially? Scale of 1 to 10 and put it here. 2 more. There's one, the next 2 are extremely important though. The next one is growth. And here's what I mean by that. Growth really determines, in many ways, the meaning that you're able to take from the circumstances that you face in your life. So if you go through this experience we're in, or if you've gone through other major challenges, adversities, if you failed throughout time, as we all have, and you were able to view that as an opportunity to grow, and you did, in most cases, you're going to look at that opportunity, that experience rather, as one that was very empowering and helpful, right? So in your life, your happiness, if we're stagnant in any area of your life for too long, it's we're not going to feel as good and we're not going to be as fulfilled. And so the amount that we allow ourselves and we continue to try to grow in our lives is extremely important. What is that for you? Scale of 1 to 10. And then finally, Contribution. There's a great quote from Winston Churchill that said, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. And I think that's so true. What and where and how are you giving of yourself to something or someone that matters to you? Because, in the end, I've talked about it at seminars. When I think about a rich life, one of the words I use to describe it is, or at least what makes it up, is personal pride, a sense of personal pride in the person you are and in who you're becoming. I would argue that contribution is the single greatest factor in that equation. And by the way, we grow so that we can give, right? The more you grow, the more you learn, the more you can give. And this experience is one of those opportunities. We'll go deeper into this in the coming weeks, but this opportunity, the more we learn together, the more understanding we'll then have for the future, both for ourselves, but for other people in our lives that we can share it with. So contribution, where are you today versus where you can be or you would like to be, scale of 1 to 10. The last thing we're going to do is just guesstimate with your eye. It does not have to be perfect. But if in contribution you said, you know what, I feel like I do some of this, but there's a heck of a lot more I could and I would like to do, I'm a 4. Then just maybe guesstimate and draw a line from edge to edge, from side to side, about it a 4, right? Let's say health and vitality. Let's say you take walks every day, you feel pretty healthy, you eat healthy, you're cognizant in this area, you have energy, you get a good sleep. You're an 8. Great. Draw that line there, okay? And go around and do this for each section, ultimately. So go ahead, and I'll fill this in, and then we'll meet right back. The last step here is I want you to shade in the area from that line down to the center in each section, kind of like this. Shade in those sections from top to bottom. You should have something that looks like your version of this. Now, imagine this was the wheel of your life rolling down the street. And, based on whatever you see, how smooth would that ride be? Right? Now, I told you this was a very simple exercise, but I hope it's a catalyst. It's an initial spark just to start thinking about where in your life, typically for most of us, you're going to have 1 or 2 areas that have gotten the most of your attention recently. And oftentimes there are others that have gotten less attention as a result. So take a look and see, what are the areas where you feel like you're really checking the boxes? You feel really good about where you are today. And where are some of those areas where you'd like to make some changes? These are the things that we'll talk about in the coming weeks. I look forward to working with you and hearing from you. And I promise you, we're going to go into more depth in each of these areas. But look, we have this time together. Let's use it to think hard about who we are today and who we'd like to be tomorrow. And no matter how difficult the circumstances are, no matter how painful they may be, we can make the most, whatever those circumstances are of this moment. And ultimately, I hope we can get to a place where 12 months from now, you and I can both look back and say, this was painful, this was difficult, this was scary. But you know what? I'd never want to repeat it, but it was one of the most valuable experiences of my life. If we can do that, then we can be really proud of how we spent this time. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.